Hello everyone, we were doing acidic strength in the last class and I told that we'll be discussing some more questions on acidic strength and few small more topics, and then we'll directly start on the basic strength in the next class. So today we are continuing the remaining acidic strength part and we will start the basic strength in the today's class. So let's quickly go through the question. The first question here we have three carboxylic acids. This is X, this is Y, and this is Z. And the question is arrange the X, Y, and Z in the acidic strength order. So which one is most acidic? COH. Okay. So look at the COH which is present over here. The COH has OH on the ortho position. Okay. So we have learned in case of benzoic acids, any group present on the ortho position will give you ortho effect and will make the molecule very acidic, more acidic than a normal benzoic acid, and hence this Y should be more acidic. Now comes to compare between X and Z. In case of X and in case of Z, everything which is present, say this whole group which is present, this is present on the meta position, right? And exactly same way, so this is your meta position, and here with respect to Z, other things are present on the meta position. So we are not going to consider any resonance effect of anything on this meta position. Only a thing which can affect the acidity of the COH is the inductive effect, if there is any. So COOH of X is closer to the COH of Y, right? So XCOH is closer to YCOOH, and this will cause its minus I effect on COOH, on carboxylic acid here, whereas no resonance effect will be applicable as the group is present, as this whole chain is present on the meta position. Whereas for Z, there is nothing closer which can give its inductive effect and can increase or decrease the acidic strength of the COOH. So the most acidic will be Y due to the ortho effect, then X due to minus I effect of COOH which is present on the Y position, and then is Z. This is how the acidic strength order will be, and that's how exactly you have to solve the questions when they ask you. So now let's look at the next question. Next question what we have is which is the most, again your COOH, this is X, this is Y, and this is Z. So they are going to ask you which is the most acidic carboxylic acid over here, or which one is the most acidic group over here. So out of ammonia and COOH, what is more acidic? Obviously COOH is more acidic. So we have COOH on X position and Y position. Which COH is gonna be more acidic? Let's look at it. So this COH has 1 and 2 on the second position, NH3 present, which is a minus I group, electron withdrawing group. Whereas with respect to this COH, my NH3 is present on the third position. So basically it is farther, this NH3 is farther from this COH as compared to this. So more electron withdrawing effect will be applicable on this COH by NH3, and hence will make the COH more acidic. So electron withdrawing group is closer to this X, to this COH which is present on X, than the COH present on this Y, right? So most acidic is X, then comes Z, and the least will be Y, because Y is NH3, it is base, it is not even acidic. Now come to the next question. By the way, this question which we have discussed, these are all previous year IIT JEE 2007. I think this question was asked in 2007, and this is also some previous year IIT JEE question. Now come to this question. We have two COH present here. This is COHX and COHY. They are asking which one is more acidic. So just look at it carefully. This COOH has on the ortho position this whole thing present. So ortho effect will be applicable. Whereas for this COH, there is an electron releasing effect due to the R chain present over here. So we don't have to even look at that way. Look at the benzoic acid. Benzoic acid anyways has a better acidity than the normal aliphatic carboxylic acids. And over that, there is an ortho effect working. So automatically X is more acidic than Y. So that's how exactly we'll be solving the questions based on acidic order. Now, we have learned how to find out the acidic strength of the compounds which have COH present in them. Or you can say specific to the carboxylic acid, specific to the benzoic acid also, we have learned how exactly the groups affect the acidity of a benzoic acid. So how substituted a benzoic acid strength will increase or decrease, that we have learned. What are different factors we have to keep in mind, that we have understood. Now we'll be talking about phenols. So phenols also have the acidic hydrogen. This hydrogen which is present on the phenol is the acidic hydrogen. Now we can have three types of phenols. One is, or only phenol, one where phenol has an electron withdrawing group present on ortho, para or meta position, and we can have OH with ERG, electron releasing group present on ortho, para and meta. So if it is electron withdrawing group, it will increase the acidic strength of phenol. If it is electron releasing group, it will decrease the acidic strength of phenol, and that's why the normal phenol will come in the center. So electron withdrawing group phenol, electron withdrawing group substituted phenol is most acidic irrespective of it is ortho, para or meta. Then your normal phenol, and then your phenol with the electron releasing group. Mind it, this is very, very important to understand. This is unlike your benzoic acid. Phenols do not show ortho effect, so that is the reason why the ortho, para and meta of EWG have the higher acidity, whereas ortho of ERG has lesser acidic strength as compared to normal phenol. Okay, so this you have to keep in mind. Rest of all factors will remain same. And now let's quickly see how to solve the questions where the acidic strength order has been asked. Here we have phenol with chlorine substitution on ortho, para and meta position, and then we have a normal phenol. Now let's understand how the acidic strength will get affected. So your chlorine represents -I and +M, but always remember chlorine or halogens generally tend to show their inductive effect more prominently. Their mesomeric effect is very, very less dominating, or you can say the mesomeric effect is something which we don't consider. We generally talk about the inductive effect of halogens, okay, or especially chlorine. So here in all the cases -I will be more effective, and hence we will be treating chlorine as an electron withdrawing group. So with the Cl on ortho position, it is closest to the OH, and hence most electron withdrawing effect will be applicable over here, then to meta, then to para, and least in the case of OH, because there is no electron withdrawing group present on the normal phenol. So the acidic order will be first, second, third and fourth. More closer the electron withdrawing group will be, better will be the acidic strength. Easily H plus will be out from the system. Now here let's talk about the next question. We have OH with CH3. So basically there is a CH3 group present. We can also call it as orthohydroxytoluene, or we can also call it as orthomethylphenol. So here the methyl group is on the ortho position, here it is on the meta position, here it is on the para position. Now look at the effects what this CH3 can exhibit. It can exhibit electron donating effect by hyperconjugation as well as inductive effect. On ortho position, hyperconjugation and inductive both will be working. On meta, only inductive effect will be working, whereas on para, inductive and hyperconjugation both will be working. So inductive is anyways a distance dependent, whereas hyperconjugation is not distance dependent. In all the three cases it is electron donating. Highest electron donation is being done by the CH3 which is present on the ortho position, because with the hyperconjugation it is donating equally, no matter it is on the ortho position or on the para position. The only thing which will create the difference will be the inductive effect. How far your CH3 is, lesser will be the donation. And in case of meta, hyperconjugation is not working at all, so overall donating effect is very, very less. Here the donating effect is maximum, here the donating effect is minimum in case of presence of CH3. Okay, so this is maximum donating, so this is gonna be the least acidic. Okay, then you have minimum among these threes. By the way, I'm not talking about the phenol right now. So this meta will be minimum among these threes, because there is electron donating group but showing only inductive effect. And here is your +I with hyperconjugation on the para position, so it has electron donating effect with hyperconjugation as well as inductive. Inductive is very lenient here because it is very far, but hyperconjugation will be working well over here. So if I arrange first, second and third, how the arrangement will be, your most acidic will be among these three will be the second one, then will be your third one, then will be your first one. In the fourth one, in the last one, in the phenol, there is no electron donating group present, hence it is going to be the best acidic, and it is going to be the most acidic, even more acidic than your meta one also, because meta has still electron donating effect due to the induction, right? So maximum electron donation is by the CH3 present on the ortho position, and minimum is in the case of phenol, because phenol has no substitution over here, no electron donation substitution. So the order will be 4, 2, 3 and 1. Now come to the next question. In next question we have phenol with chlorine and fluorine both. So now we have to again find out the acidic strength order. Now, in case of chlorophenol and the fluorophenol, we have to use a little different approach. We have to see which one is better acid, and in that case, we will be checking the conjugate base stability over here. When we are saying conjugate base stability, what do I mean? We will release the H plus ion. We will see how O minus will be stable. See, fluorine and chlorine both have the opposite inductive and the mesomeric effect. Okay, where we say that you can give more priority to inductive effect and lesser priority to the mesomeric effect, and that is more prominent in case of chlorine than in case of fluorine. But in either case, fluorine and chlorine has very similar inductive effect, as in like very slight differences there, so that cannot be the parameter to judge which is more acidic. Here we have to look the conjugate base stability by using the inductive effect, also by using the mesomeric effect also. Okay, so when we are talking about the fluorophenol, in that case, if you see, if H plus is out, then you will get O minus over here, and if you'll draw its resonating structures, because fluorine will do resonance, and resonance will be electron donating resonance by O minus itself. O minus here will be donating electron density. Here fluorine is not donating its pair of electron. It's O minus which is participating in the resonance and bringing it to the next level. So fluorine is right now not participating in the resonance. Okay. So here its mesomeric effect is not going to, its electron donating effect is not going to hamper your process. We are just seeing how the O minus is getting stabilized. Okay, so this negative charge is getting distributed in the benzene chain, and there are 5 resonating structures which are forming. So this is the first structure, then second, then third, then fourth, then fifth. Okay, and then fluorine is definitely showing its inductive effect by pulling the electron density towards itself. So the inductive effect of fluorine is minus I, so it will pull the electron density towards itself, overall making this O minus lesser negative. Now let's talk about the case where we have chlorophenol. In case of chlorophenol, again chlorine will not be participating in the resonance by giving its electron density. It will be oxygen only which will be giving its negative charge to the carbon chain, and that negative charge will be getting distributed in the carbon chain. So here mesomeric effect of chlorine is not functioning, or we are not even looking at the mesomeric effect of chlorine here. So here we are just looking at the inductive effect, and inductive effect of chlorine is electron withdrawing, and definitely will decrease the density of the negative charge on the overall compound. So O minus will give its charge to the benzene chain, this negative, then once the negative charge is gone over here, the oxygen will give its electron pair here, and this pi bond will break, negative charge will form over here. Then this negative charge will come to the para position by resonance. When it will come to the para position, remember one thing, now your chlorine and this negative charge can do one more type of resonance, that is d orbital resonance. Here the resonance will happen between this negative charge and chlorine, that is due to the empty d orbital present on the chlorine. We have discussed about this conjugation in the types of conjugations, and when that will happen, this is how the species will be formed. Basically this negative charge will try to form a pi bond over here by pushing its electron density towards chlorine, and this will form, and there will be a negative charge on chlorine. I think I have by mistake written a plus charge over here, just make it negative. So this is how your resonating structure will be. And then again, once this will be back, the negative charge will come back to this, and chlorine will have its normal lone pair. So this will have to and fro from this structure to this structure. So due to the d orbital resonance, this one structure will also form. And then again, this negative charge can continue back its resonance in the benzene, and the negative charge will come on the ortho position again. So the normal 5 structures are there, but one additional structure due to the d orbital resonance which can be performed by chlorine's empty d orbital, right? And this empty d orbital which will participate in the resonance will create one more resonating structure which will bring the extra stability in the molecule. In the previous case, there were 5 resonating structures where negative charge was getting stabilized by inductive effect of, or minus I effect of fluorine. Here we have 6 resonating structures which are getting stabilized by minus I effect of chlorine. Okay, so in that case, when we can see that one is forming 5 resonating structures, one is forming 6 resonating structures, the molecule with the 6 resonating structures is more stable, hence it is more acidic. So basically after releasing hydrogen, the conjugate base is more stable for chlorophenol than your fluorophenol, and hence chlorophenol is more acidic. This is how exactly you have to solve such kind of questions. The questions can be a little tricky. You have to use your brain and you have to use different approaches, different concepts, different electronic effects which we have worked upon. All you have to understand and use them all together to get the right answer. Now let's look at the next question very quickly. Now what we have OH with CH3, CH3 and NO2 on two CH3s on ortho position, NO2 on the para position, two CH3s on the meta position, NO2 on the para position. So now we have to find out which one is more acidic. Now look at it. So we have an electron withdrawing group present on the para position and electron donating groups present on the ortho positions. So plus hyperconjugation plus I due to the CH3s and minus M minus I due to NO2. So electron withdrawing is due to NO2, electron donation is due to two CH3s, right? Whereas look at the second compound here. So for CH3 over here, which are on the meta position, it's only plus I which is working, no hyperconjugation, as well as for this NO2 which was implementing its minus M effect, that will not be applicable. Why? Because NO2 will go out of the plane due to SIR, due to steric inhibition of resonance, and hence will have no withdrawing impact. It will be only minus I which will be working by NO2, no minus M. So 2 plus I, 1 minus M minus I. Here you have minus M working, and I told you minus M is much more powerful than any electron donating effect, and hence which one is more acidic? Your first one is more acidic than the second one. Electron withdrawing effect is there due to resonance. Here there is two electron donating groups are there which are closer to OH, and one electron withdrawing which is farther from OH, and hence this is lesser acidic. So now in the next question we have phenol with NO2 on ortho position and meta position and on the para position. Now when the NO2 is on ortho and para position, it has minus M and minus I working. On para also we have minus M and minus I working. Whereas on the meta position, it's only minus I which is working, no minus M working. So basically acidic strength should be more for first one and third one, and then lesser would be for the meta one. Now ideally you should see that NO2 seems to be closer to the OH and it should be the most acidic. Then the order should be first, then third, then second, and then fourth. Why? Because this is closest, and then next is this has only minus I working, so this should be the next after para, and then should be a phenol because it has no electron withdrawing effect. But the actual order is 3, 1, 2, 4. Why order is 3? Why third compound is most acidic? The third compound is most acidic, even though your NO2 is more closer to the OH in the first case, because if you look at it very carefully, I hope all of you know what is hydrogen bonding means. So now we have this NO2, right? And as soon as this nitrogen and hydrogen will come closer to each other on the ortho position, there will be additional hydrogen bonding forming between the hydrogen of OH and nitrogen of NO2. So there is a hydrogen bonding visible which will make this hydrogen extra stable, or you can say due to the hydrogen bonding formed between nitrogen and hydrogen because they are closest and next to each other, the removal of hydrogen will become tougher when all the effects are same. See, or in the case of first one and third one, both the effects were same. So then we have to also look at the extra stability caused by the hydrogen bonding on the ortho molecule. And though it looks like the hydrogen should come out faster due to the electron withdrawing effect of NO2, but your hydrogen is also very nicely bind with the nitrogen due to the hydrogen bonding, and hence this removal of hydrogen will be very tough. And that is the reason why, even though the minus I is farther for this NO2, or you can say minus I effect is very less for this NO2 which is on the para position here, still this will give you more acidic strength. This NO2 on the para position will give more acidic strength because no hydrogen bonding fundi is working over here. There is nothing which can stabilize this hydrogen over here. There is nothing which is binding this hydrogen over here. And hence when you compare between first and third seems to be more stable. First has become less acidic due to intramolecular hydrogen bonding. Intramolecular hydrogen bonding is something which happens within the molecule, and that too when your hydrogen and the fluorine, nitrogen or oxygens are closer to each other. So this hydrogen and this nitrogen will form the hydrogen bond, and a cyclic ring will be formed, and which will bring the extra stability to this hydrogen. Hence this hydrogen will not go out so easily as it looked like. Hence the most acidic compound will be the third one, then comes the first one, then comes your second one, and then comes your fourth one. Okay, this is very, very important. Keep this in mind. This is very important example of hydrogen bonding which changes the acidic strength of the molecule. Here we are done with the acidic strength orders and different examples. Next we'll talk about the feasibility of reaction. Feasibility of reaction between one acid and the salt. So basically here we'll be talking about how one acid, when will react with salt, will proceed into the next step of reaction, whether it will form another acid or it will not form another acid. So it is kind of a displacement reaction where acid 1 will react with salt of acid 2. Now this acid, if this reaction will be possible only and only if this acid 1 will be strong enough to displace this acid 2 and will become salt of acid 1 plus acid 2 will be formed. So reaction will proceed if there will be strong acid in the reaction. Strong acid will displace the weak acid from the salt, and a strong acid will form its own salt and acid 2 will be released. So let's understand this in detail. Okay guys, so next is the feasibility of reaction. Here reaction is happening between one acid and the salt of another acid. Now we have to see whether the reaction is feasible or not, whether the displacement reaction what we are expecting is possible or not, and will this acid 1 will be able to displace this acid 2 from this salt or not. When this displacement will happen, the salt will be formed of acid 1 and acid 2 will come out. So basically it is displacement reaction, and this reaction is possible only and only when acid 1 is stronger and it can kick out this acid 2 out of its salt and can form the respective salt of acid 1. So here the funda is stronger acid displaces the weak acid from its salt and reaction goes in the forward direction. You can also say the reaction will go only in that direction where the weak acid is present. So basically eventually in the product the acid 2 should be the weak acid. So wherever the weak acid is, the reaction will remain in that direction. If the product has a weak acid, then the reaction will happen in the forward direction. If the reaction itself has a weak acid, then the reaction will not proceed. So the direction of reaction will depend where the weak acid is, whether it is in the product or it is in the reactant mixture. Okay, so let's quickly see some examples what I'm trying to explain you over here. Let's look at this example now. Here we have HCOOH and CH3CONA. So we have salt of ethanoic acid and we have formic acid. We have learned this in the acidic strength order earlier, that formic acid is a stronger acid than CH3CONA. So this is your stronger acid, and hence it will be able to displace the CH3COO out of this CH3CONA. So basically this stronger acid will form its respective salt and CH3COH, the weak acid, will come out. So is this reaction feasible? Yes. Now similarly in the next reaction we have formic acid and we have salt of benzoic acid. We have learned this in exception that your formic acid is stronger acid than your benzoic acid. So is this reaction feasible? Absolutely feasible. This HCOH will take out this Na and this hydrogen will go over here. The benzoic acid will form and this is the weak acid. The reaction is feasible. Now the reaction is between ethanoic acid and the sodium salt of benzoic acid. Now whether the reaction will proceed? No, it will not, because we have learned the aromatic acids are pretty stronger acids. The only exception was formic acid, but this ethanoic acid is a weaker acid than the benzoic acid itself. So it cannot displace this PHCONA. This is a weak acid and hence reaction will not proceed. This reaction is not feasible. Look at the next reaction. We have CH2Cl, COH and HCONA. Though our formic acid is stronger acid than ethanoic acid, but here look at this. We have a chlorine present here along with CH2, which is making this acid more stronger, and this is the stronger acid. And here the resultant acid which is forming, the formic acid one, is the weaker acid because the salt which has formed is formed of a stronger acid here. So here, if it would have been an ethanoic acid, then definitely the reaction would be feasible. But this is not ethanoic acid. This is your chlorinated ethanoic acid, which is much more stronger than your formic acid. Now look at it. This we have benzoic acid with CH3 on the ortho position, and here we have salt of benzoic acid. Is this more stronger acid? Absolutely. How? It is due to the ortho effect. We have learned if anything is present on the ortho position, this will make your benzoic acid more stronger. So this is stronger, this is weak. So reaction will proceed. It will form the salt of it. This is the potassium salt of benzoic acid, which will get converted into benzoic acid, and the potassium salt will be formed of this ortho-methyl benzoic acid. Right? Now exactly same way we can have reactions with NaHCO3 also. But before that, let's see one more example. Look at this, we have OH and CH3 over here. It is electron donating group, definitely will decrease the acidic strength of phenol over here. Here no ortho effects work, so phenol is more acidic. Here we have taken the salt of phenol, that is potassium salt of phenol. Will this reaction possible? Will this reaction be proceeding in this direction? No, I have written this like this. The reaction is not feasible. Why? Because this is a weaker acid. Why this is weaker acid? Because it has an electron donating group present. No ortho effect works on phenol. So whatever products I have written over here are the wrong products. The reaction is not possible. Exactly same way we have reaction with NaHCO3. This serves as a test also for carboxylic acid. This is very important reaction. We will be learning it in the practical organic chemistry, where we will be learning about different tests also. Now what happens is the acids react with NaHCO3 and produce carbonic acid, and wherever the acid what you have taken, no matter it is in the case of phenol or it is in the case of alcohol, it is case of carboxylic acid, stronger acid will react with NaHCO3 to form a weaker acid, that is carbonic acid. If the carbonic acid is the stronger acid than the given acid in the reaction, then the reaction will not proceed. So first example I have taken is ethanoic acid. The pH of ethanoic acid is around 4.7, whereas the pH of carbonic acid which will form is somewhere around 6.4. So obviously this is more stronger acid, right? And the reaction will proceed with NaHCO3 forming the sodium salt of ethanoic acid, and carbonic acid will form, which will eventually can be written as H2O and CO2, and CO2 will be releasing from the system. So when we say we are doing the NaHCO3 test, we are seeing whether the carbon dioxide is getting released or not, effervescence of carbon dioxide is getting released or not, and the gas which is releasing is converting your lime water milky or not. This is what your NaHCO3 test is. So the carbonic acid will be formed in the form of H2O and CO2 will release out of the system. So this can be asked in many ways. This particular question can be asked in many ways, whether the reaction is feasible or not. This is one question. Other is, which of the following compounds can release CO2 on reaction with NaHCO3? This is another type of question. So this particular reaction can be asked in multiple ways. They can ask you the feasibility, they can ask you the direct test, whether the given compound shows the test with NaHCO3 or not. And the third type of question they ask you is whether the reaction with NaHCO3 of a particular compound will release CO2 or not. These kind of questions can be asked from the reaction with NaHCO3. Now next compound we have is sulfonic acid, benzene sulfonic acid. This is the stronger acid. This is very strong acid. It is stronger than the benzoic acid. Sulfonic acids are very strong. So it will react with NaHCO3 and will form sodium salt of benzene sulfonic acid. H2 and CO2 will be released. This reaction is pretty possible. Come to phenol. Phenol is a weaker acid than your normal aliphatic carboxylic acids also, and hence reaction will not proceed. This is not a feasible reaction. Next is we have phenol with NO2 on 3 positions, ortho and para. This makes your phenol very strong acid because 3 electron withdrawing groups are present. So reaction will take place with NaHCO3 and the product will form as H2 and CO2 and sodium salt of this picric acid. So this acid is picric acid, okay, and this is a very strong acid due to the presence of 3 electron withdrawing groups. So this is how you have to judge and proceed the reaction in this similar manner, and you have to check whether the reaction is feasible or not, whether the given reagent is a stronger acid than your carbonic acid or a weaker acid than your carbonic acid. Mostly the alcohols are the weaker acids And when you talk about alcohols and phenols are the weaker acids, whereas if you talk about the carboxylic acids, these are the stronger acids. If your phenols have electron withdrawing groups present, stronger electron withdrawing groups present in the multiple numbers, then it can make your phenol more stronger acid than the carbonic acid. The normal aliphatic alcohols are generally weaker acids, even if they are substituted with the electron withdrawing groups. Now let's quickly see. I have listed down some compounds over here. You have to see whether these compounds will give NaHCO3 test or not. Note these down and try out on your own, and then I will discuss. Note down this as well, these questions also, and try them out on your own very quickly. Now let's quickly discuss the answers. All the mineral acids which we have written over here will be showing the test, because mineral acids are stronger acids than your carbonic acid. So first, second, third, all three will give you the NaHCO3 test. Phenol is a weaker acid, hence will not give. Benzoic acid will give the test. Benzene sulfonic acid will also give the test. It is a stronger acid. Normal aliphatic carboxylic acid will also give this. This is cyclohexane carboxylic acid. This will also give the test. But when it comes to alcohols, as I mentioned, alcohols are weaker acids and will not give the test. So even this 8th one will not give the test. Look at this, it looks like it is phenol, but it is not. Your OH is attached to the normal carbon chain over here. This is aliphatic alcohol. This will not give the test. HNO3 is a mineral acid. It will give the test. This is a normal aliphatic alcohol, will not give the test. This is sulfonic acid, very strong acid, will give the test. Carboxylic acid will give the test. Formic acid will give the test. Now come to this. As I said, even if the aliphatic acids have electron withdrawing group present, then also it doesn't make it as strong as carbonic acids. So hence this OH with NO2 in the normal straight chain is also not making it stronger, hence it will not give the test. But if the electron withdrawing group is present in the phenol, then it can make it stronger acid. At least 2 electron withdrawing groups should be present. So here we have 2 NO2s present. It is stronger acid and hence will give the reaction. 3 NO2s will also give the reaction with OH. COOH with 3 NO2s will make this carboxylic acid, or you can say benzoic acid, very, very strong acid. It will give the test. Even normal benzoic acid gives the test. This is very important part. This is very important question also. They ask you this, as I mentioned, in multiple different ways. They will give you any random compound. They will ask whether the reaction is feasible or not, or they will ask whether this particular compound will give the test with NaHCO3 or not, or whether this particular compound will release carbon dioxide on reaction with NaHCO3 or not. These kind of questions can be asked from this acidic strength part. Now we are done with the acidic strength completely. Next, we will be starting basic strength. Similar way how we have learnt how to figure out the acidic strength for different type of compounds, exactly same way we will be learning for different compounds in the basic strength also. Mostly we'll be dealing with the nitrogen based bases. So in the next video, I'll be starting with basic strength. Till then, finish this off. Ask me if you have any doubt. Try solving questions from the acidic strength part from your module.